Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got kind of a cool little accessory for the IWI Tavor, and it's really meant for the original Tavor, not the X95. It does depend on the grip format of the gun. But basically, if you look at the Tavor and try to put a bipod on it, a classic bipod like you'd put on an AR, it's really not going to work well. The forend isn't set up for that, and the lengths of the things up at the front really aren't suitable for most bipods you can get, which kind of leaves you in a bit of a quandary. Well, FAB Defense has come out with this, which they call the podium. And it says it's for the TAR, which of course is the full auto version of it. But the SAR is identical in the areas that matter to this, so it will work easily on your Tavor. And let me go ahead and get it out of the package and show you basically what it looks like and how it's going to work. This is what it looks like. And it's going to actually fit, this part back here is going to fit up into the well at the bottom of the rifle where there's a plug we're going to pull out. And this part is going to grip the front of it. So it's going to sit on the gun basically like this. And when the legs are out, which can be operated by pushing this little button that'll be towards the back of the rifle when it's installed, you'll have these little legs that stick out that you can stand the rifle up. It's actually relatively easy to install, but it comes with absolutely no instructions. And it doesn't come with any tools. So there's a couple tools you're going to need. You're going to need a 3mm hex wrench, and you're going to need a couple plastic picks. And I'll show you where these plastic picks come into play. So installing this is pretty straightforward, and it really only takes a couple minutes. I'm going to set it aside for the moment so I can show you that we do have a clear rifle. We are going to be manipulating this and pointing it around, so we'll make sure we're starting with it clear. You can see the chamber. So the first thing we have to do is we have to get this plug out. And you'll see right here, there's a little rectangular hole there. There's a clip, and it basically corresponds to that same clip right here. What we need to do is push those out. There's several different ways to do it, but the easiest way to do it is to catch it from both sides at the same time so that it just pops right out. Otherwise, if you push on one and then try to go do the other, it's almost guaranteed that that one will clip back into place. Because I have an optic on this, I really don't want to lay it up on its end, on its top, so I'm going to stand it up. And give me a second once we've stood it up to adjust the camera and the light. But all I'm going to do is use the picks on both sides to push in on these at the same time. So I've got the rifle up, and I push in on both of these at the same time, and it pops forward. If you do them one at a time, you're going to fight it. If you do them both at the same time, it'll pop out just as easily as you just saw it happen. Just pull this out and set it aside in case we ever decide to take the thing off. So I'm going to put the rifle back down and then proceed with the rest of the installation. So the next step of this is at the front of this right here. It's really a three-part piece. You'll see there's a piece here, the center piece, which is part of the frame, and then this piece here. These are going to wrap around the front of the grip. So we need to disassemble this. And all I'm going to do is there's a bolt right here. And I'm just going to use the 3mm wrench to loosen that and then back it out. And you really do need to take it pretty much completely apart because it does wrap significantly around the front of the grip. And if you leave them on there and just try to squeeze it around and wiggle it back and forth, you're going to really end up fighting it. So you need to back it out quite a bit. And what you're going to find is the one with the bolt will stay on and you can pull it back out of the way. The other one will fall off. That has the nut in it. And I'm just going to set that aside for the moment. And then I'm going to pull this other piece out. And I need to make sure that it goes back past the frame or it comes completely off. Okay, I've got that backed all the way out now. So now it's time to install this. And this part is actually pretty straightforward. All I'm going to do is I'm going to line this piece up here with the hole at the back, just like this. So I'm going to get my hands out of the way. And you may have to squeeze these little tangs a little bit to get them to pop inside the grip base. So I'm just going to squeeze them a little bit. Once I squeezed them, once I felt it pop in, then I just make sure it's in there evenly. and just slide it down, and it locks in place. Now we're not done, but the back part's installed completely. You'll see that it sits flush up against the bottom of the grip, and now it's time to reassemble the front piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if I did back this out sufficiently, which I did, I can rotate it around and push it down into that groove. So now you'll see that it's in this groove right here. And while I've got it on this side, I'm going to run the bolt down a little bit so that I can install the other half and not have to hold it for very long until the bolt engages. Okay, I'm going to run it down just about that far. And if I flip it back over, bring it into view, it's kind of difficult to get it into view without muzzling myself. I'm going to stand it up so that you can see it. You'll see that the screw is protruding a little bit, and that's going to make it where I can get the other half, place it into the grip over that screw, and finish tightening it down. Now it should tighten up, at least for the beginning part of it, relatively easily. And then I start to pull a little bit of tension as I tighten it up. But it's not, it's not a super long tightening. And once I'm getting near the end, notice I'm just using my thumb and my finger for torque. I'm not turning it around and using the long end to put a huge amount of torque on it, because you don't want to crack anything. You simply want to pull up any slack that's between these so that the grip's in place. And now what you'll see is it's on both sides, it's holding onto the front grip, and that's going to keep the whole thing in place. So at this point now I have the thing fully installed. There's a button here at the back which can be hit either with your support hand or the heel of your hand to extend the bipod. And once you've extended the bipod, you can then set the gun down in the bipod. You can rock it up and now use it like you would a bipod on an AR. It's a little more towards the center line of the gun as towards the front, but being that this is well balanced to start with, it actually does balance quite well. And if I were wanting to shoulder it and hold onto the grip, it works perfectly for that. Or if I wanted to hold it back here, in this case I had the bolt back because I was demonstrating that it was clear. When I went to grab it, I closed the bolt. But if you want to grab it back here, you can as well. When you're done with the bipod, fold it up, and you're ready to go. If you want to remove it, it's relatively easy to remove it, just kind of reverse the process. But really there's no need to remove it to clean the gun, service the gun, or do anything with the gun. So if you're looking for a bipod for your Tavor, something to make it a little easier to use, especially when you're sighting in or you're going to be an extended period of time at the range, for about $80, you can pick one of these up either on Amazon or Bullpup Armory, and they work quite well for what you're wanting to do. So I'm going to get the other one out. I've already put that on the other one just so you can see what a pair of them looks like. One of them is black and one is flat dark earth. Okay, so now I've got both of them done. I've got the black one with the black bipod, and we've got the flat dark earth one with the flat dark earth bipod. And one thing too you'll notice is the Tavor now stands up on its own quite easily. It's a very stable. If I rock it, it really doesn't want to tip over. So not only do you have something that you can use as a bipod, but you've also got a stand for the gun if you needed to stand it up to put it down for a minute while you went and did something else. So, thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, and have a great day. Thank you.